Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's your favorite YouTuber, Big Blue Jabroni here. Thanks for checking out the video. And here we're going to be we're going to be talking about the schedule prediction and record prediction for the New York Giants here. With week one, starting off with the Pittsburgh Steelers Monday night. I have the Giants starting off with their first win of the season. I do know that the Pittsburgh have a really tough defense, but I think Big Ben coming off of the Tommy John surgery. I think the defense played their hearts out and played about as good as they could, and they ended up with a 7-9 record. I think they're gonna have a little bit of a fallback year, and they're gonna have to figure out an exit strategy from Ben. Week two, go right into Chicago. Let's keep it going. 2-0. Don't really have much faith in Mitch Trubisky or Nick Foles. I feel like the general manager is going to be on the hot seat, especially with that Mitch Trubisky pick, not taking Watson or Holmes. I think they're going to lose the locker room a little bit with Matt Nagy, now bringing in another guy. I think they see the writing on the wall. But do see the Giants going into week three. Now, the Giants are 2-0. Week three, I see them losing to the defending NFC champions, the 49ers. I do know that teams that come off the Super Bowl sometimes have a little bit of a slow start or they don't meet expectations. But I just feel overall just too much talent on that team for the Giants to compete with this early. So that will bring them down to 2-1. Then they go into the Rams. This is a game that I was really on the fence about. I thought maybe they can try and get this one. Maybe they won it. I'm with a lot of talent on that team, but it is started to deteriorate a little bit. They paid a lot of big names early on, and now they're kind of stuck with what they are stuck with. And now Gurley out of the picture. The Rams are going to be a very interesting team this year, but I do have that as a loss. Them taking them down to 2-2. Let me just take a look over here after that. Then they go to the Cowboys. They played the Cowboys so great on it was Sunday night or Monday night this year, the Black Cat game, it was a game that they really should have won. They outplayed them almost the whole game, but gave it up. But the game they played in Dallas last year to start the season last year, they just got the blowers done off, and I think they're going to lose this one, unfortunately, too. That'll bring them down to 2-3, which brings the Redskins up. And if you ask any Giants fan, the thing that concerns me with the Giants is if you ask any Giants fan, they're penciling the Redskins in for 2 wins automatically. And I do know that we have our way with the Redskins over the last couple of years, but new head coach Chase Young coming into town, they're going to want to change the narrative of their franchise as well, and they're going to look at it as a game as they can win. And we played them down to the wire week 17 last year, and I think we're gonna have our work cut out, but I do see us winning here. That'll bring us to 3-3, back to some 500 football. Then the short week in the Link against the Eagles. Unfortunately, I'm chalking this one up for another loss. Last year when they went to the Link, they had that great first half with Eli Manning, and then got away from the game plan and kind of crumpled it away. But I don't see them beating them on the road on a short week, unfortunately, making the Giants fall to 3-4. Then the Buccaneers come to town. I think this could be a big turning point in the season because I assume, and what I imagine a lot of people would think, is this would be Eli Manning's jersey retirement game, and you're gonna have a big crowd there roaring some of that Eli magic in there against Tom Brady, and I think the Giants are going to be pulling this one out on prime time and bringing them to 4-4 and really put them on the map as a team to contend with. Oh, excuse me. Then week five, Redskins again. I have that as another win, but like I said earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if we got upset by the Redskins one game this year. It would really hurt our chances of trying to make a run at that extra playoff spot this year, but they're going to have to be careful with them. Then they go into, so that would be their second win in a row, and then I have the Eagles coming to town, and I have them beating the Eagles. Yes, us beating the Eagles. Could you imagine that? And then that would bring them into 6-4 going into the bye. They've played them so close the last couple of years. I haven't been over the hump. I feel with the new coaching staff, they get a couple wins early on the season. They really think they can go in there and protect the home field, and I believe they do. Then a week off, then they face the Bengals. They're terrible, coming off of a bye. I don't buy Joe Burrow at all. I think he's going to be a complete bust. I think Cincinnati got it wrong. I like Tua, but that's for another discussion. That brings them to 7-4, and they would be looking green light for the playoffs at this point. But this is where it gets real tough. They have to play the Seattle in Seattle. I've unfortunately have to chalk that one up for a loss. And then the Redskins game. This is another NFC West opponent I was up in the air against. I had them losing against the Rams early in the season, and I unfortunately have them losing against the Cardinals this time too. They came in here, beat us last year, and they added DeAndre Hopkins. They added Isaiah Simmons, sorry. And I feel like they're going to be an improved team, and there's going to be a hard fought game, hopefully, and Kyle Murray comes to town. But I do have this one, unfortunately, as a loss, bringing him to 7-6. Then the Browns come to town. Odell back in MetLife. He's going to want to put on a show. They're going to have all types of fun trick plays and things designed for him. But I feel if you can put Bradbury on him, put some press coverage on him early and often, and really frustrate him, I think he can blow himself up out on the sidelines, probably get some penalties or something out of him. I think they spoil Odell's homecoming and get the win. Now they're at 8-6 with 2 weeks left. Basically, only one win kind of gets you a lock in for the playoffs, but unfortunately, they play the Ravens, which I don't see them being able to slow down Lamar Jackson in that running game. Even though I do feel the Ravens are going to have a little bit of a reality check, but I think at this point of the season, they're going to be playing for their playoff hopes as well, or seeding at least. And I think they're going to put the work on us, unfortunately. And then Dallas Cowboys come to MetLife Stadium, last game of the year. And this is going to be for 8-8 or 9-7 ideally, and then 9-7 you think you might be able to win the division, at least get a wild card. 8-8, you're playing meaningful games really late in the season. You got to be happy. That's how I see it breaking down. But this is a league that's so week to week. Some of these games that look winnable could look really tough, and some of these games that look really tough could look easier. But going in, I have high expectations and hopes for this team. Almost half of the defense is going to be replaced. New defensive coordinator, new coaching staff, obviously. And that's my thoughts, my predictions. If you have a different thought or if you want to say anything to me, just let me know in the chat. Thanks again, everyone, for checking out the video.